All right.
Yeah. Yep.
Three, two. We're live.
Hi, this is Chris Whitlock from Collector Archive Services, and welcome to our live show. I'm here with my friend, co-host, and sometimes nemesis, Anthony Spinnicky. And Anthony, welcome. I'm so glad to finally be here. This is awesome.
Yeah, same
For
here.
those of you who don't know, I'm sort of the voice behind all this, and Anthony does all the technical work. So everything you see here that works is him and not me. He does all of this. So thank you so much for making this a reality.
I'm also who you blame if it doesn't work. So we'll see.
I get a good scapegoat. That's awesome. So, I'd like to welcome everybody for coming. Hopefully, we have some of our old friends and a bunch of new ones. We invited some people from some autograph groups. So, let's get a little bit of YouTube business out of the way first. So, we have a YouTube channel called Collector Archive Services. So, if you like what you see here, or if you think you may like what you see here, please like, subscribe, and share. Right? Also, we are going to be launching a podcast in the next couple of weeks called Passion for Collecting. So if you like the chemistry between Anthony and I, which so far all you do is see me talking, and that won't happen the whole time. But we're going to be starting a podcast. Anthony and I are going to be two of the, so that's something to look forward to. And finally, I'll let Anthony talk here. We are team members for a company called Collector Archive Services. And if you can, Anthony, maybe explain to the new people who are here what exactly it is that CAS does.
Yeah, so CAS, or Collector Archive Services, is a grading company. And traditionally, they have graded mostly toys, vintage toys, action figures, vehicles, Star Wars figures. But they have also dove into other types of collectibles, basically anything, video games, sports memorabilia. We even grade iPhones. So basically what we'll do is you'll send your collectibles, or you'll meet us at a show and hand them off. And the items go down to the shop, and our folks down at the shop, they give it a score, a grade based on its condition. And then they will case it and protect it in acrylic. I don't want to give anything away, but here's one of this is a
Spoiler alert.
CAS graded item. It's an acrylic, and it's protected forever.
Yeah, I always tell people, I say, when people think of grading, they think of like sports cards like PSA and Beckett, or they think of comics like CBCS and of the like. When it comes to like us, we do action figures, and then everything else that's like three-dimensional. So, we can do all sorts of things that are sizable. So it's kind of we basically take the rest of it and turn your cool collectibles into either graded pieces or cool collages. We'll get into that a little bit later. So that being said, we have gotten our business out of the way. Let's talk now about autographs. So Anthony, basically, what's your relationship with autographs in terms of being a collector?
So I have a few items that are autographed. I have a number of them. I've got sports memorabilia, a couple figures, and only until recently have I really thought about getting them graded and protected and authenticated.
Same here.
Yeah, so I actually had a number of items, and we could get into it later if you want to hear a funny story that I've had from when I was a kid, and never really knew if they were real or not. I got them as a present, and only recently was I able to submit it and get signatures authenticated or not, and get protected in acrylic. How about yourself?
Yeah, so like for me, I don't mind sharing my age. I'm 45 years old. I have been collecting things for like 30 years.
Damn, you're old.
I know. Well, but Yoda's adorable. People like him, and really, I'm younger than Grogu. So really, I'm in a good category, right? But so I've been collecting things really since middle school. Started with coins, moved on to sports cards, and then into action figures in high school. And I don't want any of the autograph people to kind of cringe and get mad, but like I really did not see the appeal of autographs until very recently. And that reason being is people will always tell you, well, I get this stuff and I'm never going to sell it. It's not for sale. But I will tell you, in the 30 years I've been collecting, there's not a single thing that I have from day one that I have now. right? Things always move and things always change. And my big deal with autographs was, how do you know that they're real? You know, if you get something and you watch somebody, you know, sign it and they hand it to you, sure, you know it's real. But if you go to like trade it or sell it to somebody else, how did you know? And that was always a big problem for me. Then a year ago, I did a submission event in Grand Rapids at Rocket Comics with a buddy of mine, Cody Lockwood, and he was taking in a ton of comic book submissions that were signed. I'm like, signed? I said, doesn't that kind of limit your market? And he's like, no, signed stuff is huge. I'm like, how? And he said, well, the thing is that, you know, either we witness it or you get it certified by, he does Beckett, we do JSA, but then they're guaranteed to be real. And at that point in time, they're very, very easy to buy, sell, and trade. So that changed my feelings for autographs. And then I took that concept to CAS, and we're doing that now. So that's my long-winded version.
Which is rare for you. It's never long-winded with you, so that's rare. Other thing with autographs is, as far as being desirable, I think it's also a cool little little niche just for your own collection. Like, you know, these items can mean a little bit more to you if they are in fact signed. Like, take for example, I'll show you. I have a Lando skiff guard disguise. You know, it's not a very, you know, it's not like it's an uncommon figure. You know, on a Return of the Jedi card, it's very easy to get. But for me, getting it signed by Billy D makes that piece that much more valuable, and it just adds to the collection.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I'm not one of those people that goes chasing after stars. But you know, when Princess Leia, when Carrie Fisher passed away, you know, I was like, I'm never gonna meet her. So it was to me, it was a little bit heartbreaking, thinking, you know, you think that these people are always going to be around and heroes in my life, my life, and all of a sudden, you know, Jeremy Bullock's another one, David Prowse. You're like, man. So it's changed my view as well. So, yeah, next celebration, you better believe. Well, CAS will be there, you know, but you better believe that I'm going to be taking advantage of that, which actually leads into our autograph witnessing.
Yes.
So, autograph witnessing is a service that we offer that brag because, you know, of course I love our business, right? But I think is great, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So, but the thing is that, you know, here I'm in Detroit. You're in New Jersey, which we talked about. He has a lot more snow than we have, so haha.
Yeah. We got enough snow for everyone. I was telling Chris, we got 30 inches last week and another 5 today. It's great.
That's craziness. But in Metro Detroit, we have a Comic-Con, and it's actually the biggest Comic-Con I've ever been to, and it's very, very star driven, you know, and they actually do, like, last year's got canceled, but, like, you know, Kiefer Sutherland was supposed to be there. Meatloaf was supposed to be there. A lot of the cast from The Boys, you know, a lot of these people that are of course going to draw in a bunch of people. And then the lines for these autographs are very, very long. But then once these things are signed, now it's the onus on the owner to prove that it was real. And any COA is only really worth as much as, you know, that the person buying it believes that it's true. Mm-hmm. Autograph witnessing, however, is where you have somebody like us follow you up there, and you know, maybe you go and you get your item signed, and maybe grab your cell phone, and we'll take a picture of you with it. But then we take custody of that item, and then there's then we take it and send it back to the shop. It gets graded, and there's this unbroken chain of custody from when we have it to when it comes back with our. I'm gonna turn away from the camera for a minute. This is one that I did, but it has our gold label. See that? I can't see what I'm seeing, but it shows that this is a verified, certified autograph. So now, and this, by the way, is what's this gentleman's name again? It is well, he played Randall Graves on
Clerks.
Yeah, you know, New Jersey. Done on a tile, and I actually saw him. It's a year ago this weekend at a toy show. But the cool thing is that right now, let's say you wanted this, I would have absolutely no problem selling this to you, mm-hmm. right? Because you know that it's real. It was witnessed, and now it's sealed in here, and basically your authenticity now is sealed into this this tile or to this case, on this tile. So now, if this ever gets moved or traded or sold, there's confidence in the fact that there is this label that corresponds with it. Also, what's cool about CAS is that not only do we grade these items, but we photograph them, and they're available on our website. So if you take and you scan this QR code, it goes directly to this item. So if for some reason somebody was had some little tomfoolery going around and trying to fake it, you see the actual picture of the item the day it left our shop.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this level of security that's involved in all this, which is it makes me feel so much better about autographs. So have you done any? Oh,
I
yes,
have.
you
Well,
have.
actually, we can. Well, before we get on to my item, speaking of clerks, let's see what Chris Whitlock knows. Trivia play real quick. In what New Jersey town did that convenience store? Well, did it exist? Was it taped in? What New Jersey town is that movie from? The Quickie Mart.
I'm going to already say. So yeah, I'm going to say I don't know, and I've mentioned this to you before. I know New Jersey from Sopranos and Boardwalk Empire. So my entire knowledge of that comes from those two shows only. So I couldn't tell you.
Leonardo, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yep.
So sort of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Well, I know we're going to quiz you on next game show, Clerks Trivia.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. I've got your questions already
next
lined
live
up.
stream. Let's do it.
So also for anybody that's joining us now, one of the things that we're going to start doing is a game show. And the last game show we did on Instagram, but it was what does Chris Whitlock know? And it turned out I know a ton of stuff. But now we're going to do what does Anthony Spinicky know? And we'll see.
Yeah, it's
we'll
nice
see what
little
he
event
knows.
to watch. Depending on how many questions there are, we can have up to 7-8 contestants who's actually watching live to win a prize. So it works. It's everyone can participate and have a little skin in the game, not just me. But
yeah, plus the good thing is when we say contestant, is for every question I answer, it eliminates one person and makes another person eligible to win. So meaning when you're a contestant, you're not actually having to participate, which is nice because we always get people that are like deer in the headlights. Who wants to be a contestant and come on and answer a question? And then you get crickets on the other end of the line. And so we avoid that by actually making that is being an advocate for our contestants.
Yeah, you just show up and type a number in the comments bar, and then you're entered. But all right, so Chris, you speaking of these witnessing signature witnessing events, you did me a huge solid at what was it, Joe's Fest?
It was Joe Fest in Augusta, Georgia, and honestly, it was a ton of fun. The only thing, so I got to go down to Augusta, Georgia, which I've never been to, and I got to do a toy show in a city I've never been to. The only thing I didn't like about Augusta, Georgia, is that there was this really cool boardwalk right outside our hotel, but right when you go to walk on the boardwalk, there was a sign that said "Beware of snakes." So I stayed inside after that.
Snakes or cobras? Just saying.
It was so
Joe Fest?
cobras. I would hope. Yeah, I get. I would hope there's no cobras, but they didn't tell you where these snakes may come from. So, are they on the ground? Can they fall out of trees? Where are these snakes? I wasn't gonna risk it. I just stuck with the toys. I stuck with what I knew.
So Joe's Fest had a couple celebrities there, G.I. Joe celebrities doing signings, right? Who was there?
So there was, and I don't know either of their names, but there was the voice actor that did Barbecue, and there was also the actor, the wrestler and the actor that was Sergeant Slaughter.
So Sergeant Slaughter.
And yeah. So and
we knew ahead of time that they'd be there, right?
Items.
And I couldn't make it down there. You were down there, so I actually mailed you 2 items. And I've become a huge G.I. Joe fan. I was as a kid, but recently, through working at CAS and also getting it back into it with my kids. I have a 5 and 7-year-old. We watched the entire series last year. So I was back into it, started collecting Joes again, and Sergeant Slaughter is one of our favorites. So I had to send you 2 items to get signed for me, and you did because you're a good friend, Chris, despite what they say about you. And so one was, this is actually a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, Sergeant Slaughter. All right.
And that was a great piece. That was so much fun.
Yeah, this is a 2010 Sergeant Slaughter, great piece. And what's great about this one is on the back of the card is a letter that's actually part of the card art. and it's a letter from Sergeant Slaughter. And so what he did, and I didn't even think of doing this. You did it in real time. You're there with the Sarge, and you're texting me, you want the back signed on the letter too? I said, yeah. So he signed the front, says, Yo Joe. Maybe you can see that. Oop.
Yep.
Yo Joe, Sergeant Slaughter.
Yep.
And then on the back, at the bottom of the letter, that's Sergeant Slaughter's signature. So
yeah, that was so cool. And he was, one of the best things about, again, love this job, right? Is you get to meet these people. And, this was September in Augusta. And, Sergeant Slaughter, he is not a spring chicken anymore. And he was there with his mask, but he was talking to everybody and was very outgoing and, hey, what do you want? What can we do for you? I love that. I love meeting these people. So that was so much fun.
Did he make you drop and do 20?
He could have made me drop. I could have started to do 1 or 2, but I would have stayed down. I don't know.
And then this is the other piece that you got signed for me. So this is a Creo set. This is kind of like a Lego basically, but it's comes with 12 minifigures of a tank that you make, and it's a Creo GI Joe set, and of course Sergeant Slaughter on the front. And again, he
silver
signed
paint
it.
pen.
Yo Joe, silver pen, silver marker. Looks awesome. Still in the poly bag. I'm not taking it out. This is a really, really cool item. So you brought them down. You got them signed for me, and then you packed them away with the CAS stuff. And
right.
That no break in the chain of custody. They went directly to CAS. They knew they were coming from you, from that show batch, and they were all fit with a gold label. Can you see that there?
Yep, I can see it.
And that gold signature series gold label, 90 plus.
Ha, nice. Yeah, see, and the beauty of it is now, you'll probably want to keep that, but if you ever had an opportunity where you wanted to sell it now, there's no question that was a live signature, that was a witness signature, and that's the real signature. And if you wanted to right now, you could scan that QR code and you could see that image on our website. So even if somebody were to try to fake it, it would have to be a fake with every aspect of the entire thing, because you have a picture of how that looked the day it left the shop.
Exactly. Yep. Absolutely.
So, yeah, I love that now. And so now, it's something that, I've always looked at who's going to be at every show, but now, I'm going to be adding to my autograph collection with the things that I get to take in and witness. And then again, now for autograph fans out there, some of the stuff that you guys get signed are very, very expensive. And then you're paying for the autograph on top of it, and protecting your investment by getting it sealed in a CAS case and getting it verified, to me really just is the icing on the cake, right? It's such a no-brainer that you're without your item for a little while. You get to obviously see it when it gets signed. You're without it for a little while, but then when you have it for the rest, it's never going to get dusty. It's never going to get smudged. There's never going to be somebody who's going to go wipe their fingers over. Say, is this real?
Yeah. Oh. Your kid's not going to open it. That's happened.
Exactly.
And other thing to bring to also include is CAS offers that museum grade acrylic, which I think is 95 or 99% UV resistant, and will protect not only the item, but the signature as well, if you're afraid of the signature fading.
And they do, different materials, these things weren't designed to last forever, but we want it to last as long as we want them, at least.
Want to outlast us.
So for sure, yeah, exactly. And at 45 for me, but we want it to last for as long as we can. So
definitely folks should look out for when CAS goes to these shows. We put plenty of ads out beforehand. I think we did a video dedicated just to Joe Fest, you and I. But if you know we're going to be there, we'll let you know if we'll be able to witness signatures, and we can set that up for you.
Yeah, and coming up, we're going to be at in Tennessee, Nashville. I know they've already announced a few signers. It's usually kind of Star Wars heavy. We're going to be at Kane County. I don't think they do signers there, but we are going to do Joe Fest again. In spite of the snakes, I think my friend Brendan might be coming with me this time. Yeah, well, yeah, cobras, and then the actual snakes that are there. I still will be attending, and that was a great show, and hopefully even more. There were some people that were supposed to be at that show, and of course due to circumstances nowadays, they didn't all show up. But this year, it's looking like a lot of places are starting to pack things in for in the September October timeframe, and we are going to be all over it. So look for us at those shows for
So,
sure.
Chris, what happens? Let's say we're not at the show. All right, so that works great because we can witness it and take care of it for you. But what happens if you go to a show or you have an item that's already signed? What can CAS do for you?
So this is an example of that. This is a I don't know if you can see it, but it's a Boba Fett battle pack, and it's actually signed by
Nice.
Mark Austin and Daniel Logan, right? So and this is cool in a lot of ways. But I'll tell you what we do first of all is so you send it in to CAS, and then we actually I'm going to set this down for a minute. We actually have JSA comes into our facility, so it's not like it gets sent off to JSA and then comes back. JSA comes right into our facility.
James
right?
Spence authentication.
Yeah, the autograph people, JSA, it's as big as Beckett. It's so they actually come on in. They also photograph it. They verify the autograph, and then they send you a certificate that says that it's autographed and that it's all done. And then I believe in here as well. So I had mentioned that CAS also takes pictures of it. So not only do you get a JSA cert, but you also get a CAS certification showing that where it was graded and that. So you get plenty of documentation about these items, kind of showing what has been done to it. So yeah, if you have something that's already been done and you're thinking, man, I would love to have that preserved, but obviously it's not witnessed. Not a problem. I mean, it's actually a really big part of our business, and it's nice that it never leaves our custody, which is something very, very important. So, it gets sent to us, we open it, they come on in, they do everything in-house, and we get everything in-house, and then we send it back to you. It's
a minor charge. It's a minor upcharge too, right? So for the authentication,
it's $35 to get an authentication done, which again, to make sure it's real to me, that's money's relative to different people, but the fact that you have this is the picture of this before it was graded that James Spence took, and then this is the picture of it that CAS took. So you have a ton of documentation on these pieces here. So that to me pretty darn sweet, right? And so this is one of those pieces. I mentioned ICC Con, and I've been there. This is going to be the third show I've been to, and I buy and sell Star Wars stuff. You can't tell I'm a Star Wars guy, and I was in room sales selling some loose Star Wars toys, and Mark Austin just comes right up to me and starts talking to me. Like, I thought he was just a regular customer, which okay, that's cool, and he's like, oh. Yeah, I played Boba Fett in the special editions. And at one point in time during this, we talked for 45 minutes. At one point in time during this conversation, my wife sends me tries to call me, and I send her a text message back. I'm like, hi, I'm talking with Boba Fett right now. I can't talk to you. Because come on, that's awesome, right? So, yeah, these one-on-one experiences with some of these signers can be amazing. And that is definitely one that I will never forget. And you actually have had conversations with what's the gentleman's name?
Daniel Logan.
The younger guy that played Boba Fett. Yeah. So.
Yeah, funny how that happens.
So yeah,
we're both buddies with Boba Fett.
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. So, and one of the cool advantages of being at CAS, right? So, and have you ever done anything like that? Have you ever sent anything in to get certified as
that
well?
was already signed? Yeah, so a couple. So this actually I could have got. So CAS actually had a promotion with the Star Wars store. That's a Facebook group.
Yep.
And we set it up so that Ray Park was signing these Darth Maul figures, and then they were going to be sent off directly to CAS to get cased up and gold labeled. And because there was no break in the chain of custody, we didn't need to have them authenticated. But you needed to pay in advance, and I am very irresponsible, never paid. So it ended up being sent to me from the Star Wars store signed. So now what do I do? So I sent it to CAS. And so CAS had it authenticated by JSA. I paid the extra $35, well worth it, because now it is authenticated. It has the gold signature series label. And then as you mentioned, JSA then provides a letter of authenticity,
Yeah.
and with a picture of my figure, and then explanation of what it is, authenticated. So that's now it's awesome, right? So we
pre-graded and post-graded, so that's nice.
we were talking about this figure is what a Darth Maul figure. You can get one in pretty good condition, $10 on eBay. I mean, it's not a very rare figure, but now how much more special is this piece to me that it's a pretty good condition figure. It's an 80, but it is signed by Ray Park, and it's now
that red paint pen
hermetically sealed and protected from my kids. So,
yeah, it's one of those things. It seems that with getting autographs, that it's really kind of worth more than the sum of the parts, right? So sometimes these celebrities don't, charge very much to get an autograph done. And sometimes the pieces that you're getting done aren't very expensive. But the sum of the two things, so something that I'm going to be sending in, I have been getting into sports cards a little bit in starting lineup. So this is a Jose Canseco starting lineup. This was like $10, right? And then Topps, and this is actually really popular now. Have these on-card autographs, and so this is a pack-pulled autograph by Jose Canseco. Now, you can talk about the end of his career all you want, but when I started collecting in 1988. I started collecting baseball cards, and Jose Canseco was the man for me. And he's a twin, and I actually met his twin brother at a sports card show years ago, but never
was
him.
he as jacked, his twin?
He was beefed up. Yeah, it was. In fact, it was kind of funny. He was hitting on my sister. So if my my nephew and brother-in-law are watching, a little piece of information that maybe you didn't know. But yeah, very, very big. And he was a pitcher for a while. Then he ended up going to the Oakland A's. But nonetheless, so I'm going to actually get this figure with the actual card that it came with, and then get the other side of it. And you're looking at, this was under a $10 figure. You're looking at an autograph that was like $15, but now you're going to have something that is substantial in size, and then from a display standpoint looks amazing, right?
Yeah.
And I've been getting into cards a lot lately, and autographs drive that industry, and that's great. But I just imagine that there are a ton of these, cards that aren't super valuable that sit in closets somewhere, and people say, "Oh yeah,
what do you do with them?" Right? You can't. You don't have the opportunity to display something like that the way that it would be. I mean, even if you protect it and it's in a binder, you don't get to display that. You have to actually take it out, show it to people. This is up on a shelf and ready to be admired. Like, you told me that idea, and I'm on the hunt. You already sent me a couple eBay links, so I appreciate that. I want to do the same for Dave Winfield. I'd love to have get the autographed card and starting lineup paired together. Speaking of starting lineup, just real quick, I want to plug this.
Sure.
This week on YouTube, on our channel, is our first non-Star Wars Collecting 101 show. And it's going to be Joe Kircho. Did a really good video on starting lineup, and he basically talked about the first year, 1988, the three lines, and what each consisted of, and some of the rare variants, and really did a great job. In about 12 minutes, summed up the first release of starting lineups. It's really good. So look out for that this Thursday coming up.
And what's cool about that is, because he did the first year, is that now he can come back on and do each subsequent year, because things change and get better. So he kind of set himself up for some. So if there's anybody out there that is, we do a 101 series on our YouTube channel, and basically it's teaching people about that segment of collecting. So I do one on vintage card backs, Star Wars card backs. We've had a bootleg one done by. And Joe's doing this starting lineup one. But what it's cool.
There's a really good switcheroo video, wasn't there one?
There's rumor about What's the most obscure Star Wars but the thing is, it's cool. Look, number one, you taught people how to install it, told people what it was about. But the cool thing about these videos is it teaches people who maybe are new to the hobby what to expect from the hobby and what to look for. So these are very, very, I don't know. I do them, so brag, right? But it's a value added segment in my opinion.
Oh, the
So
Cardback
uh,
series is priceless. It is so full of info. I've been collecting Star Wars since I was a kid, but seriously, maybe 7, 8 years, and I've been like a scholar of Star Wars stuff. I have all the textbooks. I love learning about it, and I thought I knew most of what I needed to know about 12 backs, for example, and I learned a ton from your video. Every single one, you just surprised me more and more with the facts you come up with. So.
I come off as a know-it-all. I'm really not that smart, but but it's fun and it's nice, and you get a lot of feedback from people that are new, or you're on the Facebook groups and people will say, "Oh, how do I know the difference between like an A and a B back?" It's like, here, sit down and watch this video. It's 20 minutes, but it gives you an idea of what's out there. Introduction
Absolutely.
into what So,
so I want Chris. I want to show you something. I know I told you.
Sure.
I'm not as technically gifted yet using the software. In the future, I'll be able to put up a PowerPoint, and we'll be able to look at the stuff.
Yes.
So I'm going to go old school and just show it on the iPad. Hopefully it shows up. So we did show you that you get a letter of authentication from JSA if that's the route you're going to go about with us. And here is an example of a Kenner Dark Knight Joker. I think that's 1989.
Yes. From the movie.
It's actually displayed next to the letter. It's all in the same acrylic case. It's a really cool idea.
Because as you can imagine, Jack Nicholson probably isn't the guy that you see very often.
Yeah.
Willing to sign a Joker.
Yeah, signed by Jack Nicholson. Let me see. I wanted to show you another one. This is actually Cody Lockwood's. He actually did an unboxing of this. This is the Toxic Crusader. It was a trash can, basically, kind of like the muscle figures, but it's in the theme of Toxic Crusaders, and it's signed by Leonard Kaufman, the creator of it here. So you see, it's got the signed can.
I was there. I took in that
submission. All right, so you know about it.
Yeah.
See, know it all. Oh. But you see, there's the can in the middle, and then displayed around it are the how many is that? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 figures all around it, and then in the center is the signed. Leonard Kaufman signed trash can. So not only can you get this stuff protected, but you can come up with these awesome displays, and it's one-stop shopping. CSA will get it authenticated, get you a letter of authentication through JSA, and then you can display any way you like. And no one beats our acrylic artists, our acrylic masters.
Yeah, in fact, I have in the background here. So this is not signed, so spoiler alert, but I wanted to give people an idea of some of the customs that we do. And so this is Blur, right? And nice. This is one of my favorite Transformers growing up. But because we're grown-ups, we can sometimes afford to get both the robot and the car. So I had them do both. Now the cool thing is that like sometimes people will get, if I ever come across, so the actor is John Mascata Jr., who did the voice actor for me. He was a fast talker because it's Blur. So people will sometimes actually get these signed. So, we'll actually sign the acrylic case. So if that ever happens, if he ever comes to like one of my Comic-Cons, absolutely I'm going to do that. Okay. So, get a nice like silver paint pen, maybe over here or something like that would be really nice. But this is something that, that we do, these dynamic displays, which I love them.
Yeah.
So
no one does it better than Ken and Lee.
Yeah, they really are masters of the craft. And we're really the only company that does anything like this. So there are other companies that do action figures, but nobody does the customs. Yeah. And to me, that's our we're good at everything, but that's sort of like our signature.
And we've been talking a lot of action figures, right? But we do sports memorabilia. Right here is is actually a baseball that we've done. This is a Dave Winfield signed ball. And again, this was
never heard of him.
Yeah. Probably never heard of his team either, right? Yankees, never heard of them, right?
Yeah, somewhere like Schenectady or
Northeast
Yankees
somewhere,
or something, isn't it?
Connecticut. So this was sent in. It was authenticated by JSA, and it's really cool case that Ken kind of came up with for baseballs. I think it's unique, and everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people have signed baseballs, and they don't. If a lot of times they don't have a COA, and I'll give you an example. This is the ball that I won at my kid's school silent auction.
That's a nice one.
It's Yogi Berra. And
yay.
it was before Yogi Berra passed away. So, I bid on it. At first I was a little suspicious because I wanted for a really good price. Like it was a steal, but it didn't come with a COA, and I'm thinking maybe that's why. But this is going off to CAS and JSA, and we're going to set it up.
Right,
in a
and
case
JSA
like
will, if it's something's wrong with it, JFA unfortunately will let you know, but at least then you know.
I really hope it's real.
I yeah. You've had some bad luck with that, unfortunately. So we are CAS has started we've started the whole process of doing sports memorabilia and for example, like I'm on the Autograph 101 group a lot, and oftentimes people are like, is this real? Is this real? And one of the benefits of sending things in is that once it's certified, you'll know that it is forever real. In doing so, we are asked, by some of the other team members, like, hey, why don't you send in some items to get graded, right? So I sent in a baseball. Don't get mad at me, but I was a kid when I got it signed by Michael Jordan. I actually saw him at spring training, handed him the ball, handed it back to me, sent it in, and of course JSA said that is a legitimate autograph. You, on the other hand,
wait, it was signed by who?
Different. He was this guy who played baseball for the Chicago White Sox. It was on another Chicago team, and I can't think of it off the top of my head.
His name was Michael Jordan?
They call him GOAT too, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if he had like a beard. I don't know, but nonetheless.
I've never heard of him. Yeah.
But, you had a Michael Jordan signed item that, as it turned out. Yeah,
this is a quick story. I was a paper boy, and one of my customers worked for the Meadowlands. And I was 11 probably. And he, for Christmas, gave me a signed basketball. He somehow said he got the ball into the locker room when the Bulls were in town, got it signed by Jordan and maybe like 8 other Bulls. So I had that basketball in my room, my parents' house, for, what is that? I mean, over 30 years, thinking I had a Michael Jordan signed basketball. And I said, oh, well, let's send this in. And every signature was fake. So so that's the other thing too. If you have an item that is signed by multiple people, you can add each signature, $35 per signature, and JSA will authenticate each one, put it all on the same certificate. So I wanted each one authenticated, and they had John Paxson, Brad Sellers, Bill Cartwright. It was this is when I was into the Bulls before they were big. They'd lose to the Pistons every year, and. Yeah. I'll never forget when I got the call from Ken. He's like, tell me about this ball, because they're having a hard time authenticating. And as it turns out, it's called, it's a clubhouse ball. So teams have, believe it or not, clubhouse signers that sign very similar to the athletes, and they just sign them off and give them out. And that's what I've had in my room for 30 years. My childhood.
But it's a good lesson. It's all a lie. Well, pick up from now and move on. There's a lot of good stuff happening now. You and I have partnered up. We got a lot of cool fun things going on. So just brush it off. You'll be fine. Walk it off. So another thing I wanted to talk about too, and I don't know if you have your Lando candy, but is sort of the. So first of all, let me do a disclaimer. All right. I am not in any capacity trying to downplay the efforts that other companies have done in order to authenticate things, because it's a big deal. But so for me, I'm a vintage item collector, and when something is vintage, to me the only thing you can add to a vintage item, the only thing is an autograph, right? And a Billy D. Williams, the only person that should ever be autographing that, or a Lando, the only person that should be autographing that is Billy D. Williams. Nobody else, right? So if you have a signed, Lando figure, the only thing I'm expecting to see on there would be Lando, would be Billy D's signature, and then if he inscribes it in any way. But in order to try to make things, in order to try to make it safer for people to buy, sell, and trade these, is companies have gone and started stickering these items, right? So if you're Lando, if you can show it really quick.
Yeah, so take it out of the. Let's see. You can see it says, I got it done for my kids. So it says, to Ben and Luke, Billy D. Williams,
nice.
Lando. It's a nice gold marker. But you'll see, I'm sure you're gonna about to talk about, right in the upper corner here, they put a certified sticker.
A sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, like blasphemy, right? Like I see that and like, whoa, like, and so similar to me, and I won this on a Facebook battle, but I have this and I forget the name of the name of the autographer, but the guy played Jason in the original Friday the 13th, right? So he signed it. He signed it. Game over. He signed it. It said the OG Jason. But the same thing is you have this Beckett sticker on the front of it. Now, here's the thing: is that sticker, from what I understand, and I'm not going to do it, but from what I understand, if I tried to peel it, it kind of disintegrates, right? So the idea is that you can't lift this sticker and put it on something else, right? However, in my opinion, that's like sort of a one and done kind of thing, So if I was going to sell this to you and you're like, well, how do I know it's real? I said, well, if you'd like to, you can peel off the sticker and it should disintegrate, right? Also, there is if you go to Beckett, you can look up the this number that's associated with it, but there's no picture of this item that shows like when it was taken. It just says that there was this actor at at this location on this day. So you're not getting, any real,
COA.
real good document. Yeah. Well, yeah. And you get that, and then you get this little card. But I would imagine that if I were to be, maybe a not so great person, as I could probably make some of these stickers. And if this were a really valuable autograph, like a Mickey Mantle or something, you could probably come up with these stickers and use them in a way that's a little untoward, right? So I'm going to send this into CAS, and I'm going to have this sticker taken off it because I don't want a sticker on the front of this. To me, you have this really look. I mean,
especially on a video game like that. I mean, it's not like this is it's silver. It's in the corner. It's still an eyesore, but that's right. A big eyesore on that video game.
It's right there.
Yeah.
I guess they could have put it on the back, I suppose, but you have this really cool autograph. You have this, Friday the 13th and NES are two just classic 1980s items. But I don't want this sticker here, so when I send it in, it's going to be verify the autograph. Have it cased up with the gold label, and then it'll be a really nice piece. And then again, if I mentioned my brother-in-law is a really, really big Friday the 13th person, maybe he'll come up with something we want to trade, but he'll know that this is real at this point in time. So definitely something. I mean, I'm not knocking the companies for doing it. I know PSA DNA, I think, puts a stamp on it that you can look under, like with a black light. But again, those are things that you have to have it available to where you can do that. So I'm brag. I'm a big fan of how we do it, right? I like how. Yeah. So. So yeah, that's definitely something that that I like that we do. So, and then another thing, I'm just sharing things. So we were talking about cards and how they kind of sit in closets. So this is a sketch card, which is another really big thing in some of your non-sport stuff. And this was actually done by an artist friend of mine, Corey Galal, and it's a real. So this one actually wasn't pack pulled, so it was returned from Topps selected some of his to put in packs and gave him some back. So this is one of the return ones. So it's signed by him, and I have it like in this frame because it's the only way I can think to display it. But like with I can go ahead and get myself a Black Series Jin Urso and a Black Series K2SO, and then have this like right in the middle.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome. And then one of the things about our displays is because they're acrylic. You can see the backs of things, right? So if I wanted to take a look at the autograph or look at any of the other pieces, I really like the fact that you're not. When this is in a frame and I'm trying to explain to somebody what it is, I have to do what I just did here, right? Which is just open it. And this is a cheap Michaels frame. And I don't know. This is a really cool item in my collection that I don't think really gets the appreciation it deserves because it's just kind of there, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm trying to pull up. This is a series of 3 Star Wars wax packs that I think we've done up to 5 in a row. And, wax pack, obviously there's multiple cards in them, so they're a little thicker, but they can be done for single cards as well. So if you have a series of autographed cards that you want to display, let's say you would the starting 5 from the 97 Bulls, let's say. So is that one of the years they won? 96 Bulls.
Probably.
And you wanted to get those 5 displayed and authenticated, you could send the 4 cards, each signature authenticated, and they could be displayed, the 5 of them in acrylic, and you'd be able to see the front and back. I mean, here's the back of the wax packs right there. So,
right. Yeah, read the stats. And then, like, those are awesome things. I imagine if you have a desk in your office or a shelf in your office, that's where, these things, instead of being just kind of crammed in a closet, let's bring these collectibles out that you're so happy to own and put them in a scenario where they're actually fun to see and share and are safe to share.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they're great gifts. I mean, for sports fans, awesome gift ideas. So,
well, really similar. I mean, you were talking about your whole the Dave Winfield starting lineup. I sent you a picture of a on-card pack pulled autograph. It was numbered 4 out of 5, so it was actually a pretty scarce autograph. But I think it was a buy it now of about $50, right? Along with a loose Dave Winfield, which goes for like $10. You're looking at $60 for those 2 items, and then probably, I'm going to throw a price out there, don't quote me, but probably in the $50 range to get those 2 things paired together. And, now you have something that looks great. You want to get dad something. I mean, his favorite player with an autograph and an action figure and this dynamic display looks friggin' amazing, So definitely something that I'm really proud of that we do. And and so spoiler alert too. So that Jose Canseco that I showed you guys earlier is going to eventually be a giveaway for one of our CAS contests. So good, bad, or indifferent, for some of the contests that we do, you're going to kind of get maybe my taste in some celebrities. So, like, for example, going back to like cards. So there is a company called Leaf Pop Century that you buy a box of 5 cards, up to 5. Sometimes you get a relic card in there. But I purchased a Dennis Rodman, going back to the Bulls, right? Pistons and Bulls. And so he was somebody that I grew up with, somebody that you obviously were a fan of those teams. But I'm going to have that paired with an autographed. I'm going to have an autograph card paired with a starting lineup, and it's going to be a giveaway. And that is a really cool giveaway, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So speaking of giveaways, I think we're going to be wrapping up soon. We've been 47 minutes, 48. I mean, I could listen to you talk all day, Chris, but I'm saying
I've got like 3 more hours I want to talk. Just stand by.
Let's just real quickly, I know you mentioned in the beginning, but our big thing now is we're launching our podcast, right? Passion for Collecting. And there is our pilot episode is actually up. You can get it on any of the major platforms for podcasts. And, there's we actually have a contest right now for subscribers, right? You want to tell folks?
So, there is, and we'll post a link. If we end up, we're gonna publish this on YouTube. But there's also a video starring me talking about getting me in front of a mic and a camera is very, very easy to do. If you guys ever want me to talk on any of your live streams or podcasts, not a problem. But so if you go to YouTube right now, there is a video talking about how we're going to be giving this away. So all you need to do is go and subscribe to one of the 4 platforms that we're broadcasting our podcast on. And then go back to that YouTube link, or if you find it on Facebook, wherever you find it, there is a link to a Facebook page, right? And what you need to do is take a screenshot that shows that you joined the podcast, and then during one of the podcasts, we're going to go ahead and randomly generate that list, and it will pop out a winner, and somebody's going to win this. Now, it's not autographed, so spoiler alert there. But this is the Din Djarin with the child Yusuf 2-pack, and I sent this in to get graded. I was able to get 2 of these, so I kept one for myself, and I sent one in to get graded as a giveaway. It got graded a CAS 95.
Yeah, wow.
This is literally the highest graded item I play. So, um, but this is awesome, and it's fun, and definitely something that that people are going to want to
Yeah.
going to want to win.
I'll put links to your video in the description of this live stream. If people are going to watch the live stream later, it'll be in the description, and they could link to the contest.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and the thing is that our podcast, I mean, I'm excited to do it. So, our first episode, we're going to have special guest John Rula, and we're going to talk about, I call it Nouveau Vintage, right? So we're going to be talking about the Power of the Force 2 Star Wars line and the subsequent lines, really for the first 10 years, which is sort of a forgotten series of toys. But really, for Star Wars fans, it was pivotal in making and having Star Wars collectibles be where they are today. And I know we're going to have Michael Havens on the very next week, and we're going to be talking about the ICC show, which we're going to be at, and is a phenomenal show. And this one, it's basically like, I don't know, it's the best show I think I've ever been to. So I'm excited about this upcoming
CAS
show.
will be there, right?
We are
ICC cons.
Yes.
CAS will be there with a booth. Taking submissions.
April 10th. Yeah, it's like April 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere around there, mid-April. But then we're going to also have people on there. Brendan Falsoni has talked to Ron Rudette from, he was one of the designers for G.I. Joe. I'm going to talk to Kim Simmons, who did a lot of photography work for Kenner. So we're going to have, because we're at CAS, because we have so many access to so many people, designers, somebody for Hasbro, right?
One of the he's the Marvel designer now, but he did all of the modern Star Wars. Steve Evans. He's we're gonna try to get him on. So we because we're CAS, we have access to some of the names in the industry, and friends with a lot of the collectors. So we should have a pretty good lineup of guests. Just real quick, Bosca Bounty is watching, and he says he wants that Mando figure. So Bosca Bounty, all you got to do is sign up for the podcast to enter. Hopefully you're signed up.
And he says, "Evening, chaps." So, Bosca, are you from Great Britain, perhaps? I always love the ways people chat. So and if I got it wrong, so Ian Sanderson I met at ICCCon the first year I was there, and I was so excited. I was meeting all these people, and he has an accent. He's British, but it sounds a little more Australian. Okay. So I'm like, "Oh, are you from Australia?" He's like, he laughs. He's like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh, it's so great to meet somebody from Australia." He's like, "I'm not from there," and he actually lives in Florida. So should
be like, "Oh, lovely accent, New Jersey." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another thing about ICC, man. The people you meet, all these, I'm there. I love shaking hands with people. And maybe we'll elbow bump or however it goes. But I'm always excited to meet, friends, fans, and people of that nature. So I'm really excited about that show, and I hope I get to meet Kane as well. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to get around the country a little bit.
I'll plug show I'm going to real quick. It's a ways from now, but late May. I think it's the 22nd. That weekend is the weekend before Memorial Day. We'll be at ToyCon, New Jersey, in Wayne, New Jersey. So it's a pretty big show. It's huge, 2 huge auditoriums. I just did it in October. A lot of cool stuff there. A lot of vintage. I picked up a bunch of items there. It was awesome. It's a good show.
That's the bad news about those shows, right?
Yeah.
Is, we go there to promote the business, and we end up spending tons of money.
But we'll make sure we'll put the word out. Any show that we're at, we'll make sure it's you folks know ahead of time.
Yeah, and one of the benefits of coming and seeing us at the show is that you get free shipping for your items that end up going back to the shop. So, you come in, you hand your stuff off to us, and then we send it out there, and that hopefully is a savings to you. Plus, if you want to talk about a custom and you want to lay out, the cool thing is maybe I'll take a picture and share it with the people at the shop, so that way we get a really good idea. Now I get to see some of the things that I've taken in as submissions actually done and out in the marketplace. So
Right.
it's definitely
It's awesome.
rewarding.
It's like
So
you had a hand in helping to plan it. But no, absolutely. I did a bunch of that at ToyCon. They would come, I'd just take pictures and just email it right to Ken and Lee, and just made a note on the submission form. Hey, check your email on how we want it laid out. So yeah, it's, if you have an idea, you can bring this stuff. We could talk about it, take a picture, and we'll lay it out exactly how you like it.
Roadshow.
Yeah.
roadshow.
Yeah.
Right, so we do a roadshow segment, and Anthony's is the master of that. Is so let's say you have something you want to share with other people. We actually will record you taking in that submission, and maybe we talk about it and we turn it into a show. So that's a lot of fun. So and then we're gonna wrap this up. I swear. But I have a lot to talk about. But if
Someone
you,
get the
end up
gong
sending
and the
something-
cane. No.
Yeah, just hit end. No, but we actually, if you have a submission that you've turned in and then you get it, you can do an unboxing video, and we actually give you credit for that. So you send your information, you send that video to Anthony, and we turn that into a video. Or if you have an item that you've already opened, but it's just something you want to share with us, you also get a $25 credit if you send in a video talking about that item. So we really are all about hearing your story. So
Yep, I'll put my email in the description below, and just email me the videos, and you'll be starring on Collector's Corner.
Yay! All right. Do we want to wrap this
Yeah,
up?
let's do it.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I hope we had. I hope you liked it. I hope you like what you see. We have a lot of really really cool content. So thanks for putting up with us on Super Bowl Sunday, and I hope you have a great day. And until then, keep collecting.
Awesome, Chris. This is fun. This is good. Have a good one.
All right.
Keep collecting, my friends. My friends.
My friends.
See you, folks.
Bye.
All right.